r/AskReddit, what are teens today not ready to hear? As you get older you just keep realizing how dumb you were last year. The older you get the faster it goes. Being controversial isn't the same as being interesting. In the adult world, getting into fights doesn't make you look cool, it just makes you look stupid. Just because it's new to you doesn't mean it's new. Putting every aspect of yourself online is unsafe. Nobody needs to know your list of triggers or your address or your blood type. One day you too will be old and uncool. And it'll happen faster than you think. You won't feel different when you're older, or have kids. You'll just be you, it's weird. Everything you do as a teenager will be cringe to your children. Condoms are for STDs too, even though there are other ways to avoid pregnancy. School has a system in place to keep you from falling behind, life doesn't. Those are probably not friends for life, okay, slim chances for some. To the ones who ride the public bus in my city, specifically, nobody else wants to hear whatever TikTok you're watching. Buy some headphones. Not everybody can be an internet sensation, somebody has to drive the dump truck. Please shower. That dick pic you sent, got screenshot, and sent to 5 other people. You're closer to being the older person in any given setting than you think. And by old I mean like 30. Got nieces and nephews just starting kindergarten? Haha. Blink and they're starting college. Just because you fucked up does not mean you're a fuck up. Social media is not reality and your entire life should not revolve around it. Playing music on your speakers in public areas makes you look like a complete douchebag. Nobody likes it but you. It is perfectly fine to not know something. It's okay to not know. Stop shaming and bullying people because you learned about something before they did. Social media is not the real world and acting like it is will only make people not want to be around you. Edit, I am not talking about ignorance. I'm talking about laughing when people ask a question in class, the how do you not know that? Crowd, the mocking of people into never asking another question out of fear of ridicule and humiliation. We adults are mostly just winging it, hopefully learning from the tons of mistakes we make, but still winging it. Drugs ain't a game. You didn't invent that style. Edit to say, thank you for the award, it's my first and means a lot. Today's eyebrows are yesterday's clown makeup and tomorrow's regret fodder. Stop self-diagnosing yourselves with mental illnesses. The price of rent and housing they will have to deal with in a few years. You know nothing and it's okay. Early successes at this stage in your life won't necessarily give you an advantage later, but early failures will likely hold you back significantly. Basically getting straight A's in high school will leave you closer to the mean than failing a number of classes. That heartache you're going through? It consumes everything now but it will be nothing but a footnote in the future. You'll rarely think about it later, and when you do, it won't hurt you. It's hard to hear that your pain isn't the worst in the world when you're feeling it. But it does help to know that it won't mean as much as it does in this moment. You need to learn the difference between normal teenage neuroses and mental illness. In 15 years you're going to think the kids have gone too far and they're going to think you're old-fashioned. 10 years from now, no one will care about how many viewers you had on TikTok. You're not mature for your age. Anyone who says that to justify wanting to be with you is a creep. You guys know how the attractive and wealthy kids at school seem to just get life handed to them on a silver platter? Get used to it. As much as you want to be unique, outspoken, and be able to be you 100%, it's just not that realistic. As a queer POC millennial, it took me a long time to learn that you gotta learn to pick your battles, read the room, and know that not every space is a space that's made for you. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Cut back on the sugary shit now. Take care of your teeth now. Start working out now. You don't have to be a bodybuilder and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, just be active. Now is the time to get out and do a bunch of crazy shit, but at the same time remember that whatever you do now you pay for 20 years later somehow, someway. And this can be taken in a good way or a bad way. Don't want to take care of your teeth now? Have fun dropping $30,000 on your teeth like I had to. Not exercising or eating right? Have fun with that quadruple bypass that my father just had. My girlfriend's parents are older than my parents, but because they do those things they haven't had nearly as much hospital visits as my parents have. By comparison, my parents are falling apart and they're only in the 50s. My girlfriend's parents are in their 70s and objectively are healthier. The big difference. Early in the morning, every morning those two are downstairs working out, hitting the weights and machines for a solid hour or two. Do you want to speed and act a damn fool on the road? Have fun when you have to pay for your own insurance and nobody wants to insure you to drive a fucking Honda Civic for no less than $350, like me. Even my fucking car, it was my dream car and it still is the car I would be driving today, had just taken care of the goddamn thing. But no, it started leaking oil and I didn't keep up with it or take it in, and now I have to drive a goddamn Civic when I used to drive a Lexus. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's not your duty to judge others. Just take care of your own shit. Social media will give you too much of a superiority complex, and hanging around people who enable you will fuck you up later in life. There are decades when nothing happens and there are weeks when decades happen. Someone somewhere cares about you deeply and loves to see you to be happy. They're most likely not going to be the one. Edit, changed he to they. Their children will blame their generation for all their problems. Jobs aren't meant to always be fun / your dream, sometimes you have to work a job you hate to stay afloat. High school won't last forever. Your metabolism won't last forever. Practice and develop healthy exercise and diet habits now before it gets harder and with more consequences later. I'm just about to turn 30 in a couple weeks. I am 100 pounds heavier than I was in high school. To be fair, I was super tall and skinny to the point of slightly underweight, and that's after losing 25 pounds since the start of July. I have high blood pressure and elevated cholesterol. I am a father of a 2-year-old that doesn't want to die in the 40 to 60 range. I also want to live as a good example to her. Another 35 pounds and I'll reevaluate what my body type is like and reset my goals from there. That would be 240 pounds, which I was about 4 years ago. But it would also be a more muscular / trim 240. I'll determine where in the 210 to 240 range I want to end up and what my body and lifestyle will be like. Running is still hard, but using the elliptical is easier on the knees than it was 25 pounds ago. I want to eventually be able to do the Broad Street Run, 10 miles through Philadelphia, even though I hate running. If my knees don't like it, I'll do something else as an equivalent. As an added bonus, my sex drive I think is improving, but nowhere near what it was when I was in the 220 to 250 range. I don't think it's 100% related, but maybe it's more than 50%. Your parents were hip and cool before they had to pay your bills and feed you and buy you the cool clothes so you can impress the friends you'll forget about in 10 years. Not everyone needs to go to college. High school is probably the easiest thing you'll do. https://thehhill.com/changingAmerica/enrichment/arts culture/3614182-1 in 4 Gen Z ERS plan to become social media influencers/ 1 in 4 Gen Z plan to become social media influencers. You won't become one. You'll end up a forklift driver or hairdresser like we did. But chase your dreams. Everything in your life right now is a trial run. High school is meant to teach you how to learn, how to communicate, and how to deal with other people. That's it. High school doesn't last forever and it doesn't really mean anything. You most likely won't marry whoever you're dating right now. And that's okay. Most romantic relationships you have will probably fail because you are young and you are both learning how to communicate, and figuring out what you need in a relationship. Enjoy this time of awkward growth. It's the last time you'll be able to be a kid and not have to worry about adult issues, unless you're unlucky and were dealt a shit hand in life. Be humble, patient, and kind. I'm rootin' for ya. You're probably not going to get to play video games for a living. Life lived mostly offline is really worthwhile. You're not supposed to create a safe space to isolate from everything that triggers you. You're supposed to expose yourself in controlled ways so you can improve your coping skills. You spend too much time on social media, and it will negatively impact you in life. Everything doesn't needs to be normalist. Wear earplugs at concerts. Seriously. Loud music is great, but so is being able to hear when you're 30. I don't know how to explain it, but that backhanded thing they do where they use sarcasm disguised as a compliment is bullying. I really have no idea how to explain exactly what I'm talking about. I especially see it online, and mostly on apps like TikTok. It's almost always aimed at someone who looks or acts weird. I think a lot of teens don't see it as bullying because it's not very obvious. My younger sister started doing it, but at the same time, she's the type to advocate for victims of bullying. Pissed her off when I told her that she is a bully. *edit, really glad to see that people understand what I'm trying to say. Someone described it as nice nasty, if that helps. The world doesn't care about your feelings as much as you do. You're not as important as you think you are. You are allowed to make mistakes. Vaping is bad for you. High school popularity could not possibly matter less. EDA, there is a discussion going on in these replies about social skills. Please, if you're still at school, try to learn about social skills. What doesn't matter is how liked you are by your peers. Teenagers tend to have higher standards and be less accepting than reasonable adults, in my experience anyway. Hope this helps. Treating your teachers like trash isn't cool. Most of the time they really want to help you. Social media isn't real. I feel sad for the people who grew up after Facebook existed. The consequences of nicotine will catch up one day. I'm a teen, but I think my peers need this. Vaping does damage your lungs, we already have proof of this. It is not harmless and you will regret it when you're older. Adults know exactly what you're going through. Just because it's the first time you've felt something, doesn't mean you're the first. Also, we aren't making you do things because we get off on your plight. We actually want you to feel happy and satisfied all the time. If that means we get some quiet time, but always getting your way can make others around you worse off, and it can make you grow up to be a bad adult. Parenting is a 24-hour job. You being forced to spend a few hours away from your friends will gain you no sympathy. Social media and messaging are not a substitute for in-person socialization. You are all grossly under-socialized and it's going to negatively affect your development and social skills for the rest of your life. You are probably never going to be able to retire. That guy/gal who was mean to you/bullied you/etc. will never actually get their comeuppance. Not now. Not 20 years from now when you are a raging success. Not ever. They're just an asshole. Try to compartmentalize it and move on. but there will not be vengeance. Not in this life nor the next. They got away with it, and the most you can hope for is they eventually see the error of their ways. But don't wait up for it. You are going to regret sending nudes. Once sent, they are out of your control forever. It's normal to be anxious. Happiness is a skill, some never learn it. You will live long enough to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. That boy who is so much older than you isn't interested in you because you're mature, he's interested in you because none of the women his age want to date him. He's grooming you. You aren't oppressed. You aren't disadvantaged. You probably aren't mentally ill. Your problems are laughably small in the grand scheme of history. You live in the most privileged and prosperous time in human history. Yes, even if you are from a so-called disadvantaged group, you are still more privileged than most would have been a century ago. There's an overwhelmingly good chance that whatever problems you think you have would be dwarfed by those of your grandparents' generation. Many problems of today's youth wouldn't even have registered as a problem mere decades ago. Many of today's teens couldn't function properly in the world a mere 30 years ago with how soft they are. If you really want to be happy, start learning to find gratitude and gratefulness in what you have. Count your blessings. I'm sick of hearing how awful teenagers think they have it. If high school is too hard for you, then God help you when you're out in the real world and can't have mommy and daddy fix all your problems for you. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.